All right, guys, thank you for joining me. All right, all right, I am live. Thank you for joining me. Today is what is today? Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. It is currently 11:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and you can see the swirl right there. That is not your surface circulation. That's actually your mid-level. Your surface circulation did something like this, and then it just went south. The HRRR said it was going to do this. The NAM 3KM, this is last night's runs, by the way, said it was going to do this, and then go here as a strong tropical storm, minimal hurricane. Some of the models even showed a high-end Cat 2. But I was like, yeah, I called bullocks on that. At the time. Right now, the water temperatures here are very warm, mid to upper 80s. Wind shear is weakening. Some important factors to discuss. Weakening wind shear. While the center is dislocated from the strongest part of the convection, it's important to note that the level center is being dragged south. There's a very strong mid-level circulation here that could make its way down to the surface. So there's a possibility that this could relocate, that this center could die, and this could take over. There's a possibility that could happen. And also there's gusts of 58 miles an hour here. You can see the southwest wind even here. So I believe this is an elongated area of low pressure now. Unfortunately, we don't have any buoys here, so I could get a better picture of what's going on at the surface. But from what I can tell, the center of circulation, I believe it's an elongated area of low pressure, extending from here all the way down to about here. Or it could be two areas of low pressure. You see how there's a southwest wind here, there's a southwest wind here. It could be, see there's almost a west wind here. It could be that there's two areas of low pressure, one here and one here. That this one could be surface based and this one could be lower mid-level, close to the surface. Considering there's even a gust of 42 miles an hour here. Because here's the thing, if this was where the low pressure system was, see how getting a southeast wind here, southwest wind here, right? You would not be getting southwest winds here. You would be getting west to maybe northwest wind here, not a southwest wind. First, let's look at the time when this was taken. This was as of 11:05 p.m., which is in the last hour. This is also 11:35, so this is more recent. I believe there is actually two areas of low pressure. See, there's it looks like there's a swirl here, right? This is elongated. And I believe your center might actually be here. You see that? That is hail. That is hail in the western part of the center of mid-level circulation. That is hail. That is not heavy rain. That is hail. Let's see the elevation. Probably 6,000 or 7,000 feet. Okay, that makes sense. Very heavy precip. Yeah, at that height you probably would have hail because it's pretty high up. Let's try KHDC. Yeah, doesn't look like there's hail there. That's probably closer to like, say 25, maybe 30,000. Yeah. And you see that northwest flow here? That northwest flows because of this area of low pressure here. You see the winds are coming together. Northwest wind here, southwest wind here. And I believe there's a chance that this wind could, even before this area of low pressure turns around, could actually start switching out of the northeast or even southwest. No, not southwest, southeast. Once this passes, I think you might actually get a southeast wind developing here, and this could continue being south-southwest. I do believe there's actually two low pressure centers. I actually believe that now. 29.77. I'm going to check. Okay, yeah, that's a plume from Iwo Jima. Yeah, let's go to the present. See if anything's changed at Iwo Jima. Come on, come on. Yeah, that plume is still there. That little pesky plume. Alright, yeah. It's not as potent as it was the other day, but yeah, that plume is still there. There is a plume coming from Iwo Jima. And this is not because of weather. This is not because of humidity and moisture. Partially, yes, but this is... Iwo Jima, you gotta understand, is relatively flat compared with South Iwo Jima and North Iwo Jima, which are very steep, very high. The highest point in this island is Motoyama. Surabachiyama. Motoyama is the plateau, which is about 300 feet. You cannot get orographic uplift from 300 feet. I mean, yes, you can, but on a lesser extent. This is because of unrest. This is because of fumarolic activity on the west part of the island. Yeah, that is fumarolic activity on the west part of the island. Great. So right now what you're looking at is, yeah, see right here? See that little cloud? See how, I mean, it could be up. Yeah, all right.
Ты ему убираешь постель? Вещи? А он будет делать видео.
Johnny White
Damn
West.
it. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, before your internet gets cut off, you might want to look at the IR infrared satellite.
Johnny, I'm live. I'm live right now.
Hey, I don't care. I'll be a guest if you want.
My mom is in the room.
Huh?
My mom is in the room.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Johnny. I missed you.
Oh, I miss your voice. You are amazing.
Muting the stream again. I was muted.
You're good.
All right. Continue what you're saying.
Huh?
No. Go on. I just muted it because while my mom was here.
Oh, okay. I believe that. Well, okay, they can hear me, right?
No, they left.
Bruh, no, I'm talking about your stream.
Yes, I mean, I don't really have a lot of people watching. I think it's just you right now.
Me?
Actually, never mind. The last person left. They're not watching anymore. They were watching until 11:56. They stopped watching 4 minutes ago.
By the way, by the way, I noticed a habit. You need to not get off topic, because if you get off topic, talk about some thunderstorm from June 2 or freaking Iwo Jima. That's
No. I did put in the comments that I will be talking about Iwo Jima. I put it in the description that I will be talking about it.
Okay. Now, you see, what you need to do, you need to make the title like Tropical Bertha plus volcano or geology talk.
Well,
something like that. I'm serious. I'm serious.
But this is. I'm only talking about Iwo Jima because Iwo Jima right now is having significant unrest.
Ooh.
It's not erupting. It's not having an eruption, but it's having significant unrest. And if it does go off, I don't mean like last year. I mean go off. If Iwo Jima goes off, I mean caldera forming eruption. If that happens, whenever that might be, tomorrow or in most likely 50 plus years, but when it does go off, it will completely F up the hurricane season. Because here's what's going to happen. When you're going to have so much sulfur ejected into the stratosphere.
Is that why 2022 was kind of
Meh?
below average?
Actually, no. That Hunga Tonga did not eject a lot of sulfur. It ejected more water vapor. That was because of the Saharan air layer. But anyway, no, hold on.
The thing is, 2022 was La Nina. It should have been popping up, but for some reason.
That was because of the very strong Saharan air layer. That was the main reason. Also, the MJO was kind of off, and it could be the water vapor too, possibly. But I believe that was more to do with oceanic impacts and the MJO, which could have had some changes because of the Hunga Tonga eruption, but I can't be for certain. But if you do have a large eruption that injects sulfur, it's going to cool down the planet, right?
Right.
And that will
That'd be nice.
the poles will cool down more than the tropics. The tropics will cool down about half a degree, maybe closer to a degree. Hold on.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but you need to look at KHGX radar site and look inside that core.
I know there's hail. I already know.
Okay, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I already saw it, KHDC, the Huston one. There's hail in the western part of the system. But that's 20,000 feet. So.
Corpus Christi. I mean, this is my opinion. Between Corpus Christi and what's that? What the heck is that? Port O'Connor. Between those cities is going to get a direct hit by. Call me stupid if you want. I think, based on what this is looking like, I guarantee you by the morning, the low-level circulation is going to be shifted way south. And it might become a category 1. Maybe, just maybe.
Actually, I was saying the same thing, but I don't think it's going to be as far south as Christie. I don't think it's going to be there. I think it's going to make landfall south of Houston. I mean, if the center relocates to where the mid-level is, that's only it. It's going to make if the center of circulation finds itself where the mid-level is, then only then will it make landfall around, I would say, League City.
It's raining.
Where you are? Lightly, yeah, from the outer band of the decaying low. Anyway, but if we have a VEI 7 eruption.
We're dead.
No, your hurricane season will be kaput. I mean, yes, you'll get hurricanes, but basically what's going to happen is your winter for the southeast will be wet and cool. But most of the country will actually have a mild winter, milder than normal winter, because because your Arctic oscillation will be so positive, because the Arctic will be so cold, and also the stratosphere will be colder. So you're going to have a very strong polar vortex, which will trap all of the cold air, even with the effect of the solar irradiance being lowered, meaning you're going to have more reflection from the sulfur. That will still be negated by how strong the polar vortex is, which would mean a milder winter. However, this is where the polar vortex comes in, around spring and summer. So what's going to happen in the spring and summer following a caldera forming eruption of any volcano? It also depends on when it erupts too. But especially if this is a summertime eruption or like a spring summer, the few months later, you're going to have a very strong polar vortex, a milder winter, but then you'll have some interesting effects in the spring and summer. So you will have a very cold spring, a very cold summer with huge hailstorms, not supercells, just hailstorms, because the air aloft will be so cold, because you're going to get constantly pieces of upper level lows coming down, cold pocket aloft. Like almost every week, you're going to get upper level lows, upper level lows, upper level lows, cold snaps, cold snaps, cold snaps, every week or so, with frost in summer and nor'easters in summer that will bring rain and snow. And when you're going to have those cold pockets aloft coming down, your daytime temperatures, you're not going to be in the 80s or 90s. I mean, they'll probably be in the upper 70s to low 80s, but your freezing level, this is specifically like the northern part of the United States. Your freezing level, not the whole time, but during those events, will be under 10,000 feet. So you're going to have very, very steep lapse rates, which will mean explosive thunderstorms, but they won't be really high. You're not going to have tops going up to 60,000 feet. These will be low top convection, going up to like 30, 40,000 feet, but you'll have a lot of hail. Yeah?
Andy, you might want to look at the infrared satellite and...
I already saw. There's a huge blob of convection and gravity waves.
Well, I'm saying, look at... Do you see what it looks like it wants to do? But I know it's not going to do
It's not an eye, Johnny. I know what you're thinking. That's actually overshooting top.
Okay, question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in your opinion, by the morning, how strong do you think... Now, do you think the low level is going to move?
I don't think it's going to move. I think the northern one is going to die out, and the southern one will make it down to the surface. So it's going to be as if it's two different... Think of the upper low as one storm, the surface low is one storm, and the mid-level as a different one. Think of it as one system with two lows.
I know. Dude, if hurricane aircraft recon go inside of there, you know how insane that would be?
Okay.
I mean, this thing's just going...
Johnny, so when you told me that it looks like it's trying to form an eye, the reason it's doing that, so an overshooting top, I'm going to explain some science to you. Can you not, I just need like a second just to explain. So when a thunderstorm goes into the stratosphere, the tops, it's warmer up there. So the higher up you go in the stratosphere, it warms up a little bit. Right? So remember the Hunga Tonga eruption?
Yeah.
The very center of the cloud tops were actually warmer? Because so much of the tops were in the stratosphere.
Right.
Last night, I noticed that same thing. In Tennessee, there was a storm with tops over 60,000 feet, like 62. Did you notice that there was that little ring of colder cloud tops surrounding that right near the hot tower? That was because that little portion was over the stratosphere. You had a pretty big overshooting top. Even though it wasn't a huge hailstorm, the cloud tops were so high, they were exceeding the tropopause. They were going into the stratosphere, injecting water vapor in there.
We're getting
moderate rain.
We're getting wind gusts about maybe 10, 15. It's kind of
Yeah.
right now.
Hey, Johnny, I gotta focus on my stream. Can you call me back in like 40 minutes? Or...
Wow.
Sorry.
I mean... I mean, if you want me to talk about the storm, I'm more than welcome to.
Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely. Like on stream, or do you mean like? What do you mean?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to be done for a while. So I will call you back to speak on the stream. It's just right now I kind of need to focus on the stream because I can't multitask.
Okay.
Thank you, Johnny. Bye. Sorry. Yeah, I can't really multitask. I get distracted very easily. So anyway, what you're looking at here, that's hail because 20,000 feet. There is your second blob of convection. It does not look very well organized here, but it almost looked like on KHDC like it was trying to form some sort of eye-like feature. It looked very ooh, and then no. I would say your mid-level circulation is here. That's your mid-level. Your your surface circulation. Yeah, you see, it almost looks like it wants to rip apart. Like, see right here how it's going north, but yet you're having a swirl here. Yep. So it looks like your surface circulation is going to be here, surface and mid-level. So there's a pretty big, I would say, distance between the surface and mid-level circulation. Let's look at how far. About 100 miles. That's pretty big. That's a pretty big difference. But it does look like it's trying to get its act together. You see there's precip forming. That's not because of less dry air. It's because it's over the water. So the display center is trying to reorganize, even though you have a very strong mid-level circulation here. Here you're having northwest winds, but here you're having southwest. I'm going to see if there's any Hurricane Hunter data coming in right now. So let's go to aircraft recon. Okay. No recon in past 6 hours. Okay. Current storms. Let's look at. I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at the NAM 3KM. Even though the NAM 3KM did not handle this very well, the ARRR kind of did a little better in terms of where the center went. Though it also handled it poor because it said it was going to go all the way into Mississippi, like all the way here. Yet it's actually here now. So it's kind of a solution of both. That's why sometimes you have to find averages. It almost looks like, yes, it's trying to look like form mid-level circulation here. But, yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Unless this mid-level circulation plants itself down, the NAV could end up being right. Yeah, because this is what the NAM was showing, the ARRR was showing last night, versus what's happening now. Last night's run, having the surface circulation over here, when in reality it's here. Last night's NAM was showing something completely out to lunch, compared to what is actually happening. This is what the NAM was showing last night. Last night. Yeah. Basically, a fully fledged hurricane making landfall here. It didn't show a new circulation. No. Look, right here. It showed that circulation right here. And then suddenly just pulling it south. And just going west and making landfall Thursday. Yeah, that's not going to happen. You're not going to have a strong hurricane hitting Texas. Maybe a mid-end tropical storm, yes, but not a strong hurricane. You're not going to have a high-end Cat 2 like that model had. Sorry, but that's not going to happen, which is good. That's good. I mean, it's entirely possible that this could actually re-strengthen, and that the convection, and this could help the surface circulation. Oh, okay, now gusts to 60. Gusts to 61 miles an hour as of 11:25. Here it's 29.80. Here it's 29.68. So that's pretty low. That is pretty low. Even lower than here. Meaning, it's possible that this could be winning out. There could be something trying to develop here. 29.83, 29.80. 29.68. Okay, 29.75. 29.74. 69. I think the center, yeah, I think the center is somewhere around here. Okay, so based on this, I believe the center circulation might be in this region right here. And which would mean that's how much your different distances between your surface and mid-level. So about 80 to 100 miles. I think the hurricane hunters should investigate both the surface low and the mid-level low. Yeah, but this is getting harder to different to KHGX. Yeah, that looks pretty impressive. That does look very impressive. All right. Thank you for watching. Hey Johnny, sorry that in case you're watching, I just want to apologize that I had to I almost moderate flood stage. Ooh. Yeah, those catfish are gonna be real good. Is it 5 feet yet? Alright, anyway. That's a stall frontal boundary. Yep. Alright. I'm gonna go, just for a moment, I'm gonna look at a satellite for Iwo Jima. Alright, so this is yesterday. We were having some possibly eruptive activity. And then, of course, clouds come over. Yeah, right, let's see. See right here? Yeah, right there. Yeah, that kind of makes it hard to... okay, not eruptive. Fumarolic activity. Again, just want to reiterate, we're not having an eruption at Iwo Jima. We're not. We're just having fumarolic activity. See, clouds left, right? Your main cloud plume left, and then you're still... There we go. If there was no wind today, that would actually be great, because then... Yeah. It's very unusual for Iwo Jima, though. Because there's other islands here, too, and you're not getting the same issue. Oh, right. See, like right here, there's islands, and right here, none of that. Not to that extent, like Iwo Jima. which is leading me to believe that whatever is happening on the island is possibly due to volcanic activity. Not eruptive, volcanic activity. Like right here. For a whole hour, cloud just sat over the island. And that was what you saw on the satellite imagery with this plume extending from here all the way up here on Copernicus browser. Anonymously, right? Okay. This is the 9th. Let's go to the 19th now. That is what you saw on satellite on Iwo Jima. You're about to see it right now once it finishes loading. Come on, load, load, load. Right there. Looks like a regular cumulus cloud, right? Maybe orographic uplift, right? That's what it might look like. But that day there were almost no wind. The winds were very calm that day. And this is not due to just surface heating, because there was wind, but it wasn't very strong. But what is this here? Could just be cloud. Could just be maybe higher level clouds. Maybe low level. But why is there no clouds here? Why is it only from here to the north part of the island? Why is it, and which way is it going? Let's go to South Iwo Jima. Similar, but different in South Iwo Jima and Iwo Jima. This is a very steep volcano, a very, very steep volcano. So this, even though it's not erupting, it's a smaller island, but very, very steep. It's basically like a huge jagged peak. Yet Iwo Jima is more flat. It's a flat-shaped volcano. So something is telling me that something was going on at the island, but I can't pinpoint exactly what. And was this activity occurring in other islands too? Yes. So it looks like it was. So it's possible that this could have been weather related. This might have just been a perfect condition where you had low winds and just afternoon heating causing those puffy clouds. So yeah, it's entirely possible that's just what it was. But with Iwo Jima, I think something may have been going on because of its history. But it's also possible that this was just a cloud forming because of the weather conditions, diurnal heating, convection. Maybe you even had a shower under this. It doesn't look like a thunderstorm, but it could have been a nice little cumulus cloud, maybe some light rain over the middle of the island. Let's look at that. Yeah, it had northeast winds. It seems like it was originating at a particular point. Yeah. Those winds were coming in from the northeast. So it's possible it was weather related due to the winds. You see how the winds were coming in out of the southeast? And then they kind of changed direction. The winds were kind of light and variable. That could be weather related. Yeah, that could have definitely been weather related. Yeah, that could have just been due to afternoon heating. And that could also just be afternoon heating as well. Let's look on the 19th. So when did this happen? Okay, let's look at South Iwo Jima. Kind of a similar thing was going on. Yeah. Yeah, so that definitely could have just been weather related. Yeah, so that cumulus cloud you had over the island was likely weather related. Yep, the storm. 4.4. Okay, guys. Yeah, that almost looks like, this is becoming more and more organized, this swirl right here. I think we might be getting a new surface circulation developing. We might have two circulations. We might have a weaker surface circulation right here. So weak surface circulation here. And a developing surface circulation here. It's definitely trying to make its way down to the surface. I'll definitely just say that right now. This is definitely trying to make its way down to the surface. First, you have weak wind shear here, less dry air, and warmer water temperatures and less interaction from land. So, if Bertha wants to go stupid, he can do that right. She can do that right now. Bertha can do that right now. If within the next 5 hours, Bertha's surface circulation goes here, we might have a 70 to 80 mile an hour system making landfall here, if that happens. If this holds out and this falls apart, then you'll have a 50 mile an hour disorganized system coming ashore here, if the models are right. I think the models will end up being wrong. I think this will end up being the dominant circulation. It literally is trying so hard. Like, it's really trying its little butt off right now. It is trying. So it might do something. Thanks, Johnny. It's really, really trying. But I spoke to my friend David earlier. Yes, David Schlotthauer. And he thinks that the wind shear could win out. And hey, I'm going to give him credit because he definitely has a point. Even though your mid-level circulation looks so impressive, like, yeah, it wants to make it, like, even I'm thinking it has a chance. You got to remember, your surface circulation is still here. Very far from this mid-level circulation. When a mid-level circulation, a surface circulation is so far apart, it means one of two things. There's a lot of wind shear, there's a lot of dry air, the system is disorganized. Yes, sometimes the old circulation, the surface circulation dies out and a new one takes over. But landfall is going to be in about 24 hours. If the system is going to try to do something, it's got to do it now, not in a day or so. And it's really trying. Like, it is trying so hard to try to organize itself. It is trying so hard. And I'll definitely give it credit for that. Yeah, I'm going to give it credit. Like, I'll give Bertha credit. She's trying. Despite all the odds against her, she is trying her little butt off. I'm trying to become a broadcast meteorologist despite all the odds. if I had everything going against me, you know what? Just like I have a chance, so does Bertha. Anyway, I just applied to two TV stations that are not big market stations, so that definitely increases the odds. Plus the experience I have. The only thing working against me is my reels aren't the best. I have that working against me, but everything else, it's pretty much in my favor. So hopefully they'll reach out to me. Oh yeah, and I don't have an actual broadcast meteorology degree, but I've done this for 15 years, volunteer radio, and this for like 14 years. The only issue is I used to do regular uploads, but my home environment was in the like a lot of background noise where I was and interruptions, so I just decided to do live streams where I don't have to constantly edit and re-edit and edit the videos over and over again. Because there would just be so much background noise, I would have to like spend hours just to make edits, and it was still like pretty bad. So that's why I just do live streams. It's not so I can get more views. It's more so I could just talk about what needs to be said. Anyway, if I do become a broadcast meteorologist, I will be taking a lot of live streams down, as they are not broadcast appropriate. You know, when you say stuff unfiltered on YouTube, it's not the same thing to go present a weather forecast. That's not professional. And I'm trying to be a professional, so I need to be professional on YouTube. So I will be deleting a lot of live streams and trying to make my channel more professional sounding. The live stream that I did, the Barnsdale tornado, the issue was I pre-rated the tornado. I was just trying to emphasize how dangerous it was, but in trying to get the warning out, I also pre-rated the tornado, which was not the right thing to do. Yes, I said it. I correctly said it was an EF4, but I was just lucky. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have just said it's a very violent tornado, very dangerous. I probably should have said, violent, but, I was on my phone live streaming. This wasn't like a desktop live stream, and I only realize now you don't yeah, I should have not done that, but that was 2 years ago. I still occasionally do it now when I, would look at radar beam height to look if there's drops in CC that isn't related to hail. Anyway, I'm going to go back on track now, and right now, this is your circulation. It looks kind of disorganized. It looks like an upside down C. It looks like a C that is hanging instead of being like this. Instead of being like this C is more like this. So it's kind of a C that is sitting, a sitting C, I would call it. And what is this right here? That's just moderate rain. That's just infill. And then you're having convection on the northeast side as well. But this convection is more related to your surface low up here. So he's trying to get pulled into that other low here. But your mid-level low, it looks much more impressive. See, your winds are already out of the southwest here. If the surface low is here, why are the winds here from the southwest? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I believe that is because this area of low pressure is more disorganized. Because this was 29.68. Now it's 29.72. Meaning that it could be that this low pressure center is weakening. And this one is taking over. It could also mean that this is also going further south. And this is as of 12:15 a.m. Yes, the pressure actually did go up a little bit. Instead of down, it went up. 29.75, 29.70. So let's go to KHDC. I might actually do Lake Charles. I think Lake Charles might be the better radar for this. Yeah, that looks very impressive. It doesn't look like a hurricane. Like, if I were to look at this, and let's say, I would be like, let's say, I'm not paying attention to this, right? Yeah, it looks like your surface circulation, the original one, is here. It does look like it's trying to go south, like it's trying to merge. It is trying. That's a good sign for the system that it's trying to merge. But at the same time, it doesn't have much time to get its act together before it's going to come ashore. I believe that the wind speeds at landfall will be between, based on what this is just me going out on a limb here. Based on what it looks like, I believe that this low pressure center might actually win out, because it is trying to get its act together. Because it's back over the Gulf, it has that energy to work with. It has that Gulf energy to work with, which means that it's not dying out. If it did die out, this would have ended up taking over. Now, it's a race against the clock to see if this will merge with this. And it's trying to do that. But you also have your steering currents to contend with. Your low-level steering currents especially. And right now, the high-pressure system aloft is trying to pull this, like even at the surface, west-northwest towards Huston, while this is trying to go towards Corpus Christi and Port Lavaca. So it's best to say who's going to win out. Which low pressure is going to win out? Will the mid-level make its way down to the surface, or will the upper level, or will the surface low end up winning out? And, this will end up either getting dragged north, or this will become a separate entity that will come ashore. So basically separating the two systems. The fact that you're having a southwest wind here, if your surface low is here, yeah, I think this is elongated. I think you basically have two low pressure systems. This is what I'm thinking. Low here and a low here, which will support a wind field like this. But the only weird thing is, why is there southwest winds here? Why is there a southwest wind, west-southwest wind here, when you have two lows like this? Doesn't make any sense. It also could mean, it almost looks like there's another little low. Yeah, it means the low is disorganized. Or this wind measurement device is off. That could also be, hasn't been properly tuned. It's in the middle of the Gulf. That could also be the cause. It could also just be it's malfunctioning. So that could also be that as well. Okay. Much more impressive now. Very, very impressive. Yeah, this is literally trying to form what looks like a little eye. Yeah, I think this might end up winning out. It literally looks like it's trying to form an eye right now. Yeah, it is literally trying to form an eye. A mid-level eye. Not a strong, not a hurricane eye, but there's definitely a low pressure system right here. I would say your mid-level low. Let's see. Northeast winds here. I would say your low pressure system is here. That's why I think your low is. Because this area of less precip is going southeastward. But yeah, that was an eye trying to form. Maybe from ingesting some dry air. But yeah, you see how this little bit of precip is just kind of like rotating about its axis? That's where your surface low is. Your mid-level low. So, southwest wind here, I would just ignore that. See, let's look at the barometric pressure. 29.83, 29.72. Yet here it's 29.71. There is a huge gap in surface observations in this part of the Gulf. There's a huge gap right here. There's a huge gap right in this region of the Gulf. Meaning, how are we going to find out where the actual surface circulation is? That's where the hurricane hunters come in. And radar too. Radar does that as well. But, however, we also need to look at radar analysis as well. You can see there, Lake Charles. Look at Lake Charles radar, right? Yeah, you see how everything is now moving northeastward? Like, yeah, you see how this is moving southwest? So yeah, you got your surface low here, and you got another one trying to form here. It's almost like a double barrel. You got two low pressure centers. You have a possible lower mid-level circulation. I would say it's definitely working its way down. It definitely is. And once this organizes, it will ultimately drag that low here. It will ultimately drag the surface low here. And this will rotate it around its axis, and you'll have a mini Fujiwara effect. And this will be pulled, will kind of stall a little bit, do a little loop, and then pop, and then go back west, as this basically this system absorbs this low, and this will, and then when you average this out, it will kind of go west northwest, and probably make landfall somewhere, I would say between Quintana and Texas City. So probably, you see how it's starting to move. Almost looks like it's moving northwest. That's the beginning of a Fujiwara effect now, or it could just be the precip combining. But I do think this mid-level circulation and the surface low will kind of rotate around each other as this becomes stronger, and this is still trying to get its act together. So they'll kind of dance around, and then they'll, instead of joining, they'll just feed off of each other and kind of act like a double barrel system. But this is all barrel. This is Bertha. Yeah, I'm still. Yeah, it's not 2024. So yeah, not barrel. Bertha. Sorry for the confusion there. The slip of the name there. Right. Yeah, this is definitely trying to become the dominant circulation, and I do believe a Fujiwara effect will occur, as this will have more strength. Instead of pulling this north, in the end, this will end up being dragged, and then as the center of mass rotates here, even Earth has pulls on the sun a little bit. Of course, the biggest pull on the sun is Jupiter, but this weaker low, once this makes its way down to the surface, once this mid-level circulation makes its way down to the surface, will start dragging this low south. It's already happening. It's already starting. This process is already starting. And this will end up being dragged even possibly a little bit east, like so it will kind of not stall, but it'll kind of do like a little loop, like a zip, and then continue going west northwest to northwest. So I believe when you average things out, the system will go from about just south of Quintana to as far north as High Island. That's what I believe is going to happen. So this will drag. So if I'm going to go from here, I would say this is the projected path. Ah. Now I have to. There we go. Let's see. This is the projected path. It's gonna. Something like that. If you want to say that this is the center, actually it's here. But yeah. Sorry, that was kind of do it like that. Yeah, I just hit the keyboard there. So yeah, something like that. Or I could be a little bullish with the with the northwest track there. But I'm trying to average out, if this doesn't get as strong. So I'm trying to. But I don't think it's going to make landfall in Louisiana again. I think the next state is going to be Texas and probably Houston southward. So I believe the tropical storm warning might have to be extended down to, I would say extend the tropical storm warning down to Indianola, and I would extend the tropical storm warning down to Indianola. I would still keep this tropical storm warning because you're still going to have strong east winds. But I would extend that tropical storm warning down to Indianola because of this, just to be on the safe side. And if this really intensifies, maybe by tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning, I would issue a tropical storm warning. Okay, the winds are getting stronger again. Okay, still 46. Yeah, tropical storm conditions. Yeah. Sustained 40. So yeah, that's definitely a tropical storm.